Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Police have seized guns from the home of Audrey Hale, who killed 6 people, including 3 children, before being shot dead at a primary school in Nashville. New images have been released which reveal the weapons reportedly used by the suspect, as well as damage sustained during the shooting, including bullet holes in nearby cars. In CCTV footage released by police, Hale is seen entering the building by shooting through its doors. Hale is then shown wandering around the school premises holding an automatic rifle. It is thought Hale, a former student at the school, was motivated by resentment.
Holding hands.
Here footage of children fleeing the building while holding hands. And the tearful hugs as parents greet their children from the school bus.
Aren't you guys tired of covering this?
And here an impassioned plea from a survivor of the shooting that more needs to be done.
How is this still happening? How are our children still dying, and why are we failing them? Gun violence is the #1 killer of children and teens. It has overtaken cars. Assault weapons are contributing to the border crisis and fentanyl. We are arming cartels with our guns and our loose gun laws, and these shootings and these mass shootings will continue to happen until our lawmakers step up and pass gun safety legislation.
The German Defense Ministry says the first shipment of Leopard 2 tanks has been sent to Ukraine. It comes as Ukraine's Defense Minister, Oleksiy Reznikov, released footage of British Challenger 2 main battle tanks that had recently arrived in the country.
It's marvelous when Secretary of Defense of the United Kingdom. It's a very good stuff. Thank you very much from Ukraine to the United Kingdom.
After thanking the UK's Defence Secretary Ben Wallace, Reznikov is seen driving one of the tanks. Britain pledged in January to send 14 of the tanks ahead of an expected Kyiv counteroffensive to further repel a Russian full-scale invasion, now in its 14th month. Protesters have blocked the Rennes ring road to protest against French President Emmanuel Macron's pension reforms on another day of countrywide demonstrations and strikes. At least one car was burnt, though an eyewitness said it had been brought from a scrapyard and did not belong to a motorist. The stunt caused traffic jams spanning several kilometres, which lasted around 2 hours until protesters left to join protests planned in the city centre. Millions of people have been demonstrating largely peacefully and joining strike action in France since mid-January to vent their opposition to Emmanuel Macron's plans to make most of them work an extra 2 years until they're 64. Prince Harry has unexpectedly arrived for the second day of his privacy trial against the Daily Mail publisher Associated Newspapers. Lawyers have submitted 14 separate claims about articles published by the paper on behalf of Prince Harry, alleging that information about his personal life was obtained unlawfully. Prince Harry, Elton John and several other celebrities have brought privacy cases against the publisher. US Vice President Kamala Harris has visited a music studio in Accra during a visit to Ghana, where she was joined by actors Idris Elba and Cheryl Lee Ralph.
So this is song number 20. So we have Ide.
Harris highlighted the universal language involved in the creation of music from young African artists. She's in Accra at the start of a week-long 3-nation African tour, the latest in a series of visits by senior US officials as Washington seeks to counter growing Chinese and Russian influence on the continent.
I think it's a great significant signal for a VP to come to Ghana, to come to Africa and be that interfacing, to show the rest of the world that actually it's a fantastic place to sort of look at in terms of partnership and investment.
And a football tournament specifically for grannies has kicked off in Limpopo province in South Africa. The tournament, nicknamed the Grannies Soccer World Cup, is the first of its kind hosted by the team Vakhegula Vakhegula. The team was formed in 2007 to improve the health of local grannies, and it led to the creation of other granny teams across the country. Only women aged 55 or older are allowed to play. The 4-day tournament saw 32 teams compete, including 9 from South Africa and 23 from abroad. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.